Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I am Madhav Mitalban from the island of Mauritius, and I'm your SAA and the SAA of One Country, One World Toastmasters Club. Welcome to the 12th of September, our 12th of September session. I will remind you that this session will be recorded and you may choose to leave your camera off, but we always like to see your smiling faces and reactions. You can feel free at any moment to use a chat to interact with our speakers, interact with our role players. And for anything else, I would just like you to remain muted when you're not speaking for the proper handling of the meeting. Without further ado, I'd like now to introduce our president, the recently crowned second placed champion of video speech contest, Annie Bai. Madam President, over to you.
Thank you so much, Madhav. Good morning, good evening, good day, everyone. I'm so glad to see you again, my One Word Toastmaster friends. I see some of our old friends coming back to us. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Morag. And I think we have Patricia hiding there. And I'm so glad to have you back to our meeting. And today we also have a few friends. Let's have a chance to get to know them. We have a gentleman, Asiri from Sri Lanka. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. So I'm Toastmaster Asiri from Sri Lanka. So currently I work at a commercial bank at my country, and I've been in 1 year as a Toastmaster, and currently I'm working as a Vice President of Public Relationship. I'd love to visit a lot of Toastmasters Club last couple of months, and last week I got to know about One Country, One World, and I contact with the one person. So I'd love to and excited to meet you all. It's again a family in Toastmasters wherever I go. So excited to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And we are so excited to meet you as well. I hope you enjoy our meeting. And we have another friend, Dara. Are you there?
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning. Very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's great for you to come back again. I hope you enjoy this meeting as well. And we really welcome you as our friends here. Okay, so since our last meeting in August, it has already been 3 weeks. And there are so many things happened in these 3 weeks, right? First of all, we had our annual Toastmaster convention. I think it was a great event to present our One Word Toastmaster Club. We had a lot of presentation on our on this convention from our members. And first of all, we have our Morag there and being an international officer, and we have Nush and also Zivia being presented with their achievement. And I got my chance. So I'd like to share with you this thing I just received this week, which is the plaque for the second place. And it is a wonderful surprise to me at my door. You know, after having this, everything just feel a bit of real, right? And well, without something in my hand, it seems everything in the virtual world. But this is a great year for us, and I hope you all enjoyed the computation as well. Of course, we have a brand new international speech champion. Hopefully, we will have her as our guest speaker someday in our club. That would be wonderful. So today, of course, September, we will have a wonderful meeting to kickstart. And we have a lot of wonderful speeches and great session. And Paul has done a fabulous session to connect us with our inner point. So make sure you attend our meeting 15 minutes a bit earlier, and then you will hear something completely different. With that, I would like to give the stage to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Annie. Welcome, everyone. I hope you're excited for another Toastmaster meeting for the One Country, One World. Welcome to the beautiful blue skies of Australia. So we're hosting the Toastmaster event from the land down under. So welcome aboard. And our theme for today is creating, what is our journeys for growth? For us, for my personally, my journey for growth is at this year, I have been, my role is a district director. So my goal for this year is for our district to be distinguished. So that is my goal for the year. And throughout the meeting, I'm going to share some insights of our other members and what their goals are for this year. So yes, just some housekeeping. So the agenda is all set to go. I think we're just waiting for a few latecomers to arrive. So it should be all right to go for the rest of the meeting. So this just leads me on to the first part of our inspirational message. And we have the privilege of having an international director on our club in Morag Matheson, DTM. And Morag's goal for this year is to finish her DTM in Pathways. She only has 4 projects to go, so the countdown is on. So look forward to her. I'm sure she's looking forward to completing her DTM through the Pathways program. Please welcome Morag Matheson with her inspiration.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. I looked around the room. I was waiting for the division contest to begin. I saw a woman sitting alone with a cup of tea in her hand. So of course I went over to her. Hi, my name's Morag. I don't think we've met before. I'm Joan, she said softly. This is my first event. Joan was a member of a brand new club. In the course of our conversation, I asked, have you planned your icebreaker speech yet? She looked horrified. No, I won't be giving speeches. I only joined the club because they needed one more person to charter, and I think Toastmasters is a great idea. The contest chair called the meeting to order, so I took my seat. But my brain was in overdrive. How could Joan be a member and not get any benefit from Toastmasters? What could I do? At the end of the evening, I went back to her. She had enjoyed the contest, and I said to her, Joan, it's a pity no one else from your club is here. Maybe you could share something of the experience with them. I know you don't want to deliver speeches, but what about writing a short report and sending it to your president? Oh, I can do that, she said. I gave her my business card and said, let me know how it goes. Her club president was one smart lady. She thanked Joan for the report and asked if Joan would be willing to read it out in front of the club the next week. Joan wrote to me after that meeting. She was amazed that she had read the report aloud, and now she had a mentor. She'd signed up to deliver her icebreaker the following meeting. For many months, I looked forward to Friday afternoon. Joan would drop me a note after the club meeting, telling me what role she had taken and how it had gone. 2 weeks was all it took from I'll never give speeches to icebreaker done, and she was off on a journey of personal growth. Joan's journey depended on a number of people. A catalyst to light the spark, a champion to make a way for her and get her onto that path, and cheerleaders to keep her going. When I look at my own journey of growth, I recognize those same people. I can also see where I have played those roles for others. Perhaps you can identify yourself in those roles. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I believe the journey of growth should be a lifelong one and is best enjoyed in the company of others. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Marag, and what a wonderful way to start our meeting with your inspiration. So in Toastmasters, we have a lot of roles that we have in relation to how we conduct our meetings. And I'd like to introduce to you our general evaluator, who will introduce some supporting roles. And Wendy Harara is our general evaluator today, and she tells me her goal for this year is to complete 2 pathways. So I think that's a fantastic goal for this year. So whoever's the VPE, please jot this down so you can keep note of the goals of our members. So please welcome our general evaluator, Wendy Harara.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, just in case. Toastmasters of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests. I am General Evaluator for today's meeting. For the benefit of the guests, my role is divided in some parts. The first one is introduce my tag team, timer, accounter, and grammarian. I would like to start calling upon to the stage to Sonia Monrose, our timer. Why is important to keep time on our session, Sonia? A big round of applause for Sonia.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Good morning to you, fellow Toastmasters, guests, welcome and good day. My role as timer is a very significant one in Toastmasters. We practice speaking within a time frame so that when we are out of the Toastmasters frame, we can stick to the time allotted to us in whatever circumstance that we are speaking. Today, as your timer, I will be keeping track of how you spend your time. I'll be using a stop clock as well as showing you the signals as to how you are faring out with your time. At the minimum time, you will be seeing a green background when you are near the end. So for example, if you have a 5 to 7 minutes speech, at 5 minutes, the green light will come on. At 6 minutes, the amber light, and at 7 minutes, your time will be up. So whatever presentation that you're doing, the red light signals that you have reached your maximum time and you barely have 30 seconds to complete. For table topics, if you are a guest, it's 1 to 2 minutes for your presentation, and the same will apply at 1 minute, the green light, at 1.5 minutes, the amber light, and at 2 minutes, the red light. At the end, when it's time for the report, I will provide you some information on how we manage with our time. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Sonia, for those timing guidelines. It was a colorful explanation, and I will call our next facilitator, Nadia Agape. Nadia, why is important the all-counter role? A bit of applause for Nadia.
Thank you, Madam GE. As you know, in Toastmaster, we have to improve our speaking skills. And it's important to speak without any coach filler or pause. Today, I am in charge. I am your accountant. During the meeting, I will listen for obvious words included and, well, but, so, and you know. I will listen also for filler sound included and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase, such as I, this mean, this mean. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster. Madam GE, sorry.
Thank you, Nadia. Now we know our timing guidelines, that the filler words are like coriander on our teeth when we are talking, and it's really annoying. So we will move to hear from our grammarian, Tim Wilson, what is important this role in our session. Tim, the stage is yours.
Well, as you heard, the ah counter takes care of pretty much everything. All the stumbles, all the ahs, all the ums, all the so's, all the buts. So all that stuff is out. So as the grammarian, I'm kind of stuck. It's like, well, what's left over? It's like, you know, so I kind of look at like the really big things in terms of grammar. Like you say, you ain't got nothing there, no how, you ain't going to do that. I'd have to write that down. Okay, that's a little bit of double negative sort of thing in there. But if you're going through and you have a few stumbles, that's really for the ah counter to handle. So I'll be looking at big picture, but I also do have a word of the day, which you can throw into your speech if you feel like. It's just kind of a fun word to use. Today, the word is coruscate. Coruscate, which means to sparkle or twinkle. I'll put it into here. I like to use obscure words no one would actually use in a sentence, just to see what people do when they're struggling to try to fit. How am I going to fit coruscate into a sentence? I like to see that struggle and horror in people's eyes when they start to think about those sort of questions. So I apologize, a little bit sadistic as the grammarian here. Otherwise, I'll take a look at your wording. Make sure that you've got good wording. If your wording is fine, probably let it go. But if you have a particular phrase that I like, I'll probably be focusing more on those. So far, everybody's got great wording, so just a few phrases kind of popped up to mind. But again, if you say they ain't no how gonna do that, no way, I'm gonna be after you. So careful about those ones. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Tim, for bringing this big challenge, for having a coruscate session. And it was keeping an eye on all our grammar issues. Big things, I'm gonna think about that. I would like to close this. I will call my team, my tag team, to present a report. And we have also 2 additional members that will be giving evaluation to our prepared speeches. I'm going to give the control back to Tim Blackburn, our Toastmaster of the day. Tim, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Wendy. We're now moving into the speaking sessions, and we recommend that to get the most benefit from the speeches is shift your view to a speaker setting. So that way you'll get the bigger vision of the speaker on your screen. We now move on to the tourist of the day. So this session is to introduce a tourist to give some insights of a destination they'd love you to travel to. And today's tourist of the day presenter is the one and only Coruscate Selena Chong. And her goal for this year is to see the effective growth of her mentees. I love being mentor, so I love that. It's a great challenge. Please welcome our tourist of the day, Selena Chong.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world, around the world. Okay, let me share the screen. So guess where am I taking you all to today? Can I have a show of, can all of you just unmute yourself and just let me know if any of you have been to United States? Just shout out because I can't really see you.
Yes.
I can see my
yes.
slides.
Yes.
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 Apart from the Americans.
Yes.
I'm familiar with it, yes.
Apart from Americans,
so I am not sure if this place is actually new to you, because when I was on my way there, and the Americans were very surprised. They said, I never heard of this place. So guess where am I bringing you to? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Anybody have a guess of where is this?
Upstate New York, Maine, Colorado.
Colorado.
Alaska. Alaska.
It's actually located between 2 states.
Oh, one of the Great Lakes.
Yes, one of the greatest lake.
Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan.
No. Okay, it's between California and Nevada, called Lake Tahoe.
Ah.
Okay.
Yes, Lake Tahoe. It's actually a dream place that I've been wanting to go. And so 3 years ago, we decided to go for a ski holidays. But of course, our planning was, in the busy cities in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Las Vegas. So usually in my family vacation, we always will go to a small town just to relax. So I was looking through how to get to Lake Tahoe. And after finding how to get to Lake Tahoe, I realized that there's no train station, they only have bus depot. And with 2 children, taking bus is not really convenient. So I have to find a place that has train. And what's more, Lake Tahoe is so commercialized, everything there is expensive, including the resorts. So what happened was I was looking at the map and was searching the nearby towns. And I found this place, Truckee. How many of you have heard of the place Truckee? Just shout out because I can't see you or your gestures.
Never.
Never.
Never. Even the Americans? Okay, that's the interesting part because I always like to go to places that many have not heard of. Just weird of me. So Truckee, we took the train, and this amazing train, from Los Angeles to train, bus, and train, and this amazing train rides. You get to have this rotating chair, and you get to see different views. Really loved it. Okay, when I reached this place, what's so amazing? It's actually a very, very small town. Small yet cozy. Every single shop here selling all very unique souvenirs. And the entire town is just one street and 2 rows of shop houses. That's it. It's that small, but the place is so cozy. And see, even the shops are small as well. Okay, and I really like this one. It's just like another postcard. On the left is the train station, on the right are the shops. Simple. So we stay in this resort called Donner Lake Village Resort, like a home experience at Truckee. Very cozy room. And you can oversee the Donner Lake at the back. And of course, the snow hills. And the best part is it's only 30 minutes away from Lake Tahoe. And we took the bus ride from Truckee to Lake Tahoe. And do you know how much it cost us for the bus ride? Any guess?
$20.
Free.
It's free. The entire Lake Tahoe and Truckee has this community service that all the bus ride you take are free. Amazing. So for the few days there, all the rides that I took were all free by the community services. And of course, I got to go to Lake Tahoe without paying the rate that I had to pay in Lake Tahoe. We had really great American meals and Italian food. Yes, we managed to get to the ski village. And my kids were really having fun with the ice skating. And if you want a place, that's away from the city, that's so homely, warm and cozy, and you don't have to really pay such an expensive rate. To me, this is an amazing vacation. And what's more, when we went, it was in December, and we managed to really witness the white Christmas in Truckee. So ladies and gentlemen, if you've never heard of Truckee, never been there, it is worth your trip to go there. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Selena. What a wonderful city. I love to go to Lake Tahoe, and I might even stop by Truckee on the way to Lake Tahoe. Thank you very much. We now have a new segment on our Toastmasters called Niche of the Day. So a lot of our Toastmasters amongst our members have lots of hidden talents. And today we're going to uncover one of the talents of our members today in Ma Kano. And if you've seen some of her previous presentations, she is a very talented with all IT skill sets. And one of the goals that Ma Kano has for this year is to complete level 1 in 2 paths this year. So that is her goal, and continue learning to be a better speaker and better leader. Please welcome for the niche of the day, Ma Kano.
Toastmasters from one country, one world, and most distinguished guests from all over the world. Have you ever dreamt of presenting live inside your presentation? Yeah, you heard that right. In today's meeting, I'd like to share about a digital tool that I am particularly fond of, and I'd like to encourage you to give it a go. First, try it for free, then feel what it's like presenting with it, and finally, ask yourself, before you choose to use it, is this tool a suitable one for my specific purposes as an online public speaker? Are you curious about this tool? Yeah, I can see very curious faces. Oh yeah, maybe. Toastmaster Marcano, please. What digital tool are you using? Tell us. Shall I share my secret with you? Aloud, not a secret anymore. I'm using Prezi Video to create inspiring and engaging visuals and then appear alongside them. Easy and awesome to keep the personal connection in remote meetings and video conferences. Let me show you how to use it following basic steps to get started. Put pen to paper, ready to take notes. First of all, what's the first step? Create a Prezi account. And second, I totally recommend you to download the app on your device. Although I recommend this option, you can also use it directly online. It's a matter of preferences. Then design, create your presentation step by step. And finally, present it. You can do it video conferencing in Zoom, for example, like I'm doing now, or you can record it. And as Toastmasters, come on, who doesn't want to practice and rehearse till we get confident to go live on the virtual stage? Now let's focus on how to create our presentation in 4 different steps. First, create content. Add slides as if it was a PowerPoint, for instance. Then add text, maximum 100 characters. Be mindful, what keywords are you going to use and choose? And then add visuals. Choose files, images, even PowerPoint presentations that you have already created before, icons. And in this way, using these 3 things, we can support our message and reach all types of audiences. Step number 2, choose a template once you have created the content. Focus on the design and choose something which aligns with your topic. For example, would you like to present as a live reporter? Or how about Toastmasters sharing what technology is all about? Or you would like maybe to present as a general evaluator as if you were in the news? Or rather, just go on live in the real world with a webinar. Once you have your presentation ready, there are different ways of presenting. You may want to choose only the speaker because you really want your audience to see you fully. Or you can present yourself with the content on the side. Or why not presenting full content, full screen? So you can share everything that you need to. And there's even more. You can screen share anything that you have there. And you don't really need to ask for permission, sharing permissions. And last but not least, if you are using the app, please remember to save your project as we would do with any other program, right? We don't want the hard work to be lost. And if you are online, no worries, it's saved automatically, easy peasy, and coming to an end. As a Toastmaster, wouldn't you like to become a successful online speaker, creating a more humane connection with your audience? The Toastmasters connection has a new face. Yours. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for free. And this is all for today's niche of the day. Thank you very much. I hope it has been a practical, impressive video short tutorial. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day. And please share in the chat if you want to give it a go. Yes.
What a fabulous presentation. Thank you very much, Marcano. I'll certainly give Prezi a go. That sounds really interesting. I love experimenting and see how to make our presentations. And what your presentation is just amazing. So congratulations. You certainly follow your footsteps and present fantastically. We now move on to our first speaker for today. And that is our Toastmaster, Paul O'Malley. So Paul joined, his goal for the year is to help set up 5 new Toastmasters clubs. Wow, what a goal for the year. So we'll love to support you any way we can with that. Paul joined Toastmasters in 2015 because he was curious about Toastmasters and how it could help people become better communicators. Paul is a member of 5 clubs and is the Assistant Division Director for District 71 in Region 10. He is working on the visionary communications, dynamic leadership and effective coaching paths. And he just loves everything to do with Toastmasters. His speech entitled, "How do you experience me as a leader?" Please welcome Paul O'Malley.
Have you ever been a commander? Of somebody else's ship?
Never.
I bet you, like me, have been commanded. Began in childhood, didn't it? Carried on in school, didn't it? Carried on when you were an employee, didn't it? Commands. Today I want to share with you my journey of growth, and I hope to remind you of your journey of growth from being commanded to being a commander of my own ship. Friends, Toastmasters, and visitors, at school, there was a way of ensuring high performance. When you didn't achieve it, you were given a docket, a piece of paper which contained the punishment you should receive. And you went and you queued up outside the Prefect of Studies office, if you were me, and you were delivered with a leather pandy bat. Some years later, I went to work for London Transport, a large quasi-military organization that was adjusting itself eventually to being a commercial operation. And I went in on a Friday and I saw a big, long queue of people outside an office. And I said to one of the supervisors, "What's happening?" Oh, he said to me, "They're all lining up to see the manager. They're all on report." And that's what happened. That's how high performance was achieved. If you didn't achieve it, if you turned up without your uniform, if you drove the bus too quickly, if you had an accident, you went in to see the manager, and the manager ensured performance. I'm leading to telling you what a shock it was for me and perhaps for you when you joined Toastmasters. But before I do that, let me say I left London Transport and I went to work for an organization that had a huge number of volunteers. 3,000, over 3,000 volunteers working for it. It's called the National Trust in England, Scotland, England, Wales and Northern Ireland. And in that organization, I, who had a leadership role, was not allowed to be rude to people. I wasn't allowed to be unkind, and I wasn't allowed to compel people. Why? Because there were unwritten rules in the culture which said that you were expected as a manager to achieve results by inspiring people, by helping them to achieve, by serving people. That prepared me for the shock when I joined Toastmasters International many years ago. Like you all, a member club committee. What did I discover? You couldn't tell the members what to do. I became an area director. What I discovered, I couldn't tell the clubs what to do. And you know what it's like. As a division director, I had an area director who didn't do the job, failed to submit any report from club visits. Was I able to fire him? No. All I was able to do was essentially to say, look, Henry, his wrong name, you've done your best and you'll have another go later in the year. Thanks for letting me know. By the way, he let me know after the date ran out. Margaret Page said something once. She said, I'll quote you. She's a very senior, experienced person in Toastmasters you probably have heard of, but she was past international director. She said, servant leadership is the lifeblood of the Toastmasters experience. Yes, isn't it true? Now, a man called Robert Greenleaf in 1970 wrote a very influential paper called Servant Leadership. The thing that influenced me and prepared me for my experience in Toastmasters was this book. Whoopsie daisy. Okay. Trust me, it's called Leadership as an Art, written by Max De Pree, the son of the man who founded Herman Miller. Big successful organization coming out of the United States. Herman Miller was founded in 1923, and it is fabulous, highly recommended. Servant leadership. We know it. We don't have the authority to insist, do we? Do any of you have the authority to insist that anything happen except yourself? I'm on a very tricky mission. I have to undo all the conditioning that I got, all the examples that I was given as a child from school, from work, and from my own practice. I have instructed people. I have fired people. I have deprived people of their own initiative. I've always trusted people to give their best. And I've learned that people don't always give their best. But overall, in a volunteer organization like Toastmasters, you almost certainly get the best result by trusting people. So, servant leaders, that's a little bit of my story that is continuing and for which I'd love your assistance. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Paul, in sharing your story with us. Your leadership journey is really fascinating to listen to. Our next speaker tonight or today is Shamilia Williams. And Shamilia is another talented lady, a part of our club. And she not only speaks one language, but 4 languages. She speaks Papiamento, Spanish, Dutch, and English. Wow, what a talented lady. Shamilia was the first person in Aruba to become a distinguished Toastmaster with all the requirements of a distinguished Toastmaster. As part of her journey, she continues to grow and pursuing to become an accredited speaker in Toastmasters International. She provided me a quote: "Stop hiding your potential. The pain will be less." Please welcome, with her insights and persuade us to understand the journeys, what it is to become an accredited speaker. Please welcome Shamilia Williams, DTM.
Good morning. How are you today? I hope you are enjoying the day just like I am on this beautiful island of Aruba. I want to welcome you here. It is now about 8:30, Sunday, time to go to church. That is how we call it here. It's time to go to church. But for you, I have been making exceptions not to go to church on the Sunday morning so I can be here with this special group of people. Do I have permission to share my screen? Okay, yes, I'm seeing it there. Today, I want to speak with you about how should I say, it's my passion, my reason why I joined Toastmasters. Why? 4 years ago, when for the first time, I knew that Toastmasters exists and what it was about, I thought, well, I will join this group of people to share and give back some of my information that I have on coaching. And then by joining, I realized there is this program called Accredited Speaker. So for me, that was my journey to become accredited speaker. I went into all books. I do all that could I get to get more information on this. And last January, this is the picture of it. It was taken from my presentation to file to become accredited speaker. If you attended the convention, then you must know I didn't pass level 1, but I grew so much. It is a journey that I will not stop on until I become accredited speaker. And I want to share it with you today. Some of the insights to make it clear for you too, that all of us here can reach there. So we will speak today about what is accredited speaker, what it is not, the benefits, some requirements, timeline, because probably you cannot start today and be accredited speaker by next year, August. Showcasing your professional style, tell you that there is some coaches that can help you. And at the end, I want to encourage you, to persuade you to be the next Sheryl Rose. That means to say, become an accredited speaker and start promoting others to do that as well. How are we going to do that? What it is not, it's not simply completing lists. In Toastmasters, most of our DTMs become DTM by just completing lists. That is not what accredited speaker is about. To become an accredited speaker, you must demonstrate great speaking skills before a live audience. To be in the spirit of today, let me tell you what accredited speaker is. Accredited speakers, the word is coruscate. So accredited speakers coruscate on the stage, not with their clothes, so no glitter and glamour, but with their expertise. And how do they do that? By another synonym, by scintillating their knowledge, speaking skills, and personality during any presentation. Can you imagine? I make this presentation today not knowing that Marcano would have come and tell us about using any kind of this type of presentation in a speech. That Morag speak today about that person that thought she would have never give a speech. I was that there about 45 years ago. And Paul, after you see Paul on a stage, you will get the shivers and doubt every point of your own speech. That was where I was 10 minutes ago. But because we are Toastmasters, and because I decided to join a accredited speaker program, I know I would do just as good as Paul. So Paul, I think you will be the first person to join me on this team. What is it not? Accredited speaker is not a speech contest. It's not a competition among others. And it's a non-professional accolade. Accredited speaker, you get it behind your name. If you are a professional speaker and you can vet everything that you say on a stage or in a training. And it is not the next step after DTM. Because accredited speaker, you have to be professional speaker to start there. Some benefits of being an accredited speaker, guys, is the path will help you design your own style, your own ability, the thing that you are expert on, and to develop a particular speech with mastery skills to any audience that you have. When you become an accredited speaker or on that way, you will realize that if you are a teacher, you will not sit anymore on your table and give a lesson or a training. You will be standing, expressing yourself, and make sure that the class understands what you're telling them. Accredited speaker also give you the benefit or the, we say here in the Caribbean, the sponge, that is the intense desire to research your teams, to research who you are presenting to, who you are presenting for, and matching that with the amount of money that you will get back after that engagement. So you need to develop a competitive edge that you can stand apart from the other speakers that we have here on the island or on the universe. Some requirements, you have to give a live video presentation. I don't know if you know how difficult that is. That presentation has to be given in only 20 minutes from the beginning to the end, you have to have been given presentations for the last 3 years and accumulate 25 speaking engagements with at least 5 of them willing to give you a recommendation letter directly to TI, so you wouldn't see that letter. Probably you will need to send out 10 for you to get 5 good recommendations out of it. And because it's not a joke and there is a lot of work in it, we'll ask you to pay $100 when you submit your papers. And then in a week of time, they will let you know that yes, you are eligible to step into level 1. And at level 1, that live presentation that you give of 20 minutes need to convince 4 out of the 5 judges that will rate you at 80%. Should I tell you that when I got my result back, I went and checked and asked. I even spoke with the chair person of this year and of next year. And with all that information, I was 2 points left to be at level 1 because 3 judges did give me more than 80 and the 4th stays at 78 and the 5th, no, if you read the recommendations of the 5th mean to say I even needed to be here today. So bad it was. But that 5th one, that is the one that gave me more things to think about and to realize that to be an accredited speaker, you must be it for the whole world and not only for the people that you know, for the part of the world that you are living or on themes that is for you interesting. So I learned a lot about it. A timeline look like this. From now on, if you are great, till December of this year, or next year, December, or 5 years after today, December, but it is always the moment you start until December, preparation. Read the material, what it is about, what do I need to have, why do I need to do this, to whom do I need to send things? And then January, you file in your papers, including your live presentation. Set out about a week to get back and forward with Toastmasters International on things that need to be changed. And then from March to May, you just sit down and hope and wish and pray and do your thing because that's judgment time. Around convention of your district, you will get a notification, yes, you pass it, or no, just as I did. You have a whole year to start planning or improving again. And if you get yes, you pay another $150 and you can be on the convention. Usually, you will not make it on your first presentation on the convention. But if you stay there, you will always make it. What I mean with showcasing your professional style, it is what you are doing. It's your style. So accredited speaker is not about giving a nice speech. Accredited speaker is about taking your expertise, what you are good in, what you are giving trainings for or speaking about or workshop, and get it to be excellent. Get more audience engagement during your presentation. It is about showing what it is. Hopefully that is what I'm trying to do now to you, showing it or selling it. I hope at the end, some of you will say yes, then yes, I make a sale. But it is not about telling. without giving too much negative feedback to everybody. If you saw the accredited speaker presentations of last year and of this year, you could see improvement of Mr. Forrest Koff. Why he didn't make it last year, but this year. You could understand why, I forgot his name. This other gentleman was last year and this year and didn't make it and had to go further. And the lady of this year that came with snack on exercise, all of us that was there, it went into our mind. We even start to do it, snacking on exercise, but that was telling, not selling or showing your expertise. And you have to be able to do whatever you want in 20 minutes. Of course, as professional speaker, usually if it's a training, it's longer. But try to be to the point and make it in 20 minutes. If you like what I told you today, you can even go on the website and look for accredited speakers that giving their time to coach us to become just like them. Some of them will charge you, most will give it for free, but certainly I will tell you, if you go on that search, you will receive some more engagement, some more work, some more paid work, because I did, and I am from such a small island, speaking with this special English accent. And this accredited speaker took me, embraced me, and trained me, and gave me opportunities to grow. That is what Toastmasters is all about. So before I go for questions, I want to ask you, just as Paul did this morning with us in the exercise, close your eyes and ask yourself this question. Do I have an expertise that I can use my Toastmaster skills that I'm learning and go out there, ask to get paid for it, and the audience will be satisfied? You can open your eyes again. If that question was answered with yes, then I will encourage you to download the information, or just now, just to type yes in the chat group, and I will add you in a special group that I want to make as of tomorrow, and we will call it our OCO Mindset Accredited Speaker Program. I don't mean to say that you have to file to be accredited speaker this year. It can be 2-3 years from now, but we will be working together to make this happen. I think I see 1 or 2 yes already. You can get in touch with me also on my email account. If you like my style and you want me to be a presenter at any of your events, if you're part of this group, yes, you have my phone number. Feel free to call and we will make it happen together. Because really, I want you to stop hiding, because hiding gives you pain. Stop hiding. Come out. Let's go on this tremendous journey and become together the next group of accredited speakers. Toastmaster of the meeting.
Thank you very much. What a wonderful inspiration you are, Shamila. I remember starting 4 years ago a speakers bureau. I think this is a really good platform to help our members to step up, to move on to accredited speaking program. So what a fantastic speech that you presented, and what a wonderful program. If I could ask you to help stop the share, that'd be great. Thank you very much. Important part of our Toastmasters is impromptu speaking. So we're going to be led by the one and wonderful Nush in relation to running table topics. And she's shared with me her goal this year is to have her district become a fully fledged district by the end of this financial year. So what a wonderful goal that Nush has set out. Please welcome our Toastmaster, Table Topics Master for the day, Nush. Welcome, Nush.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster and guests. Table topic session is an impromptu session, thinking on your feet. And today we have 6 quotation or statement that will remind you of your coruscating journey of personal growth. So I will call upon 6 volunteers who do not have speaking roles at this meeting today to respond to my question. And please just tell us what the quotation reminds you of your coruscating personal journey. So are you ready? The first question, I would like to call upon Madhav. Sorry.
Hi.
Madhav, this is the statement. Sometimes in life, we become so focused on the finish line that we fail to find joy in the journey. What does this statement remind you?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. This particular quote is very relevant to me at the moment because my children are finishing their school holidays right now, and over the past few weeks, life has been quite hectic and busy with different responsibilities here and there. But we made it a must, myself and my wife, to just stop time and take a moment to spend with them. And this sparked so much joy in so many ways, and it was really, really special. Just to give you an example, just today, my daughter, who is 6, asked me, "Dad, can you please remove the side wheels on my bicycle so that I can learn how to ride by myself?" And I'm like, wow, okay, this is history in the making. At some point in my life, I will remind myself and remind others that, you know, that was the day when Anya started to ride her bike. So this this idea of progress, of movement towards something, when you're in Toastmasters, you have a finish line at some point, and in your professional life you have a goal. But this should be a drive, but it should also serve as a reflection on enjoying the journey, because along the way there are so many other things which happens, conversations, moments, family moments, just a chit chat with your colleague. These are little things which spark joy and make things fun. So that's for me. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Yes, you are so true. So sometimes we need to enjoy our journey, our learning process, instead of trying to achieve the goal. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Staviana. What does this picture or image remind you of your journey?
Madam Table Topics Master, I was not able to read what is written on the on the piece of paper. It was too small for me. So if you would read it for me, if you know it.
Let me see. I have to expand that too. Could you hold a second? It say, on the places you will go. All the places, or all the places you will go. Is a quote from Dr. Seuss.
Thank you. Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, all the places that I will go, oh my God, I don't have enough time to do that. I'd love to visit the whole world, not only physically, but also mentally. And to do that, I am engaging in an act called visualization. It is different than meditation, because in meditation, what we do is that we clear our mind of all the things that annoy us, of all the things that disturb us, so that we will have a clear mind. With visualization, we fill our mind with only the things that we want. And ever since the pandemic started and we got in lockdown and we couldn't travel anymore, this is what I have been doing. I have been visiting Toastmaster clubs in various countries, listening on everything that everybody was saying, and I was visualizing that I was there with them. And this gave me the strength and the empowerment to keep my mind sane, that I was actually traveling and not being restricted at staying at home. All the places that I will go, my God, one lifetime is not enough. And by engaging my visualization technique, I managed to travel to all of these places that I want to go. And this is how I managed to achieve so many of my goals in such a short period of time, the pandemic time. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us your visualizing techniques to travel, to visit places, especially during this pandemic time. What a wonderful technique. So next, I would like to invite our guest, Asili. What does this image tell you? What would you say to your younger self? Asili?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, Table Topic Master. So what would I have to say to younger self? So when we are in our life odyssey, some people are there, they start to reevaluate their life, what we have done. In my life, time to time, I was thinking what I am doing with my life. Some people, they live their life. What the animal does, they find food, they eat, and their children, that's only. Some people also, they do the same thing, but some are there that think about the purpose of life. So to the younger people, what I have to say is, think about your life, what you're doing. Reevaluate where your mind goes, because our mind, it's something that we can't control. But when you look at your mind, you can see where it goes time to time. And we call it emotional intelligence. When you have that identification, anticipating your emotional intelligence, you become a better version of you. So in my Toastmasters journey, I found to become a better version of me because I started to look at my mind. As the previous speaker said, the meditation is a powerful method to have empathy towards, because we all do have a certain amount of emotion. It's a potential, it's a mix, love, empathy, or anger, frustration, it's about the same. Understanding someone else and getting to someone else's shoes, it's about emotional intelligence. So the younger people, I'd like to say, think about your life. evaluate time to time. Is that the way I have to go? Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Asiri. Yes, reminding your younger self or the younger people about that purpose of life and use emotional intelligence skill to cope to achieve a well-balanced life. Great, thank you. Next, I would like to invite Daria. What does this talk to you? A journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step by Lao Tzu.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I would say that when I was living in Geneva, I took the opportunity to visit all of the countries around Switzerland. Now, to get to most of the countries around Switzerland, we had the opportunity to take the train, to drive a car, to take a bicycle, but we chose often to go on hikes through the Alps. The countryside of Switzerland is so exquisite. I would suggest everyone take the opportunity to visit and hike through Switzerland. Some of our walks were 4 to 6 hours, others were longer, so others were shorter. But the experience of step-by-step visiting places that you'd otherwise not visit, meeting people you'd otherwise not meet, talking to people that you'd otherwise not talk to. These were the experiences that these hikes allowed. And I wouldn't trade them for the world. When we take the opportunity to use what we've been given with our physical bodies, we can interact in ways that we've not interacted before. We can drive, one person in a car, 2 people in a car. We can take a train, many people. We can take a bus, others. But when we're walking and communing with nature, we have an opportunity to not only talk with people, but to commune with nature. And this is what the hikes around Switzerland did for me and for all of my colleagues. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you. I so resonate with you because I love hiking, and hiking, taking steps, visiting places, talking to people is a good way to learn about other culture as well. So next, I would like to invite Wendy-san. What does this image talk to you about your journey? The only journey is the one within. Wendy?
Hi, hello, Table Topics Master. My topic is about the only journey is the one within. I think during my lifetime, we have a lot of options to choose from. Let's say when you went to the university, you have the option to choose what kind of the major you are going to pursue in the future. And after you graduated from the university, probably you will face the journeys, which career you are going to choose from. And we there have many choices during your life of journeys. When you, let's say, when you get married, when you have your baby child. So, and also when you choose to join Toastmaster, is also one of the journeys you choose during your lifetime. So I think the most important for us is to follow your heart and choose the one that you think most suit to yours at that moment. And after you make your decisions, then you need to continue and try your best to achieve your goals. So that is I mean, when I saw the topics of this, when I see these codes of this table, these topics, this is what comes to my mind that I want to share with you. Back to Table Topics Master. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy, for sharing about your journey from your heart. Indeed, we should follow our heart when we travel to places, and also our journey of life itself. Use our heart. Our last question, I would like to invite Fabi. And this one, so much of who you are is where we have been. Fabi, please. Is Fabi there? It's not there. Could I invite Paul? I'll share this again. So much of who we are is where we have been. Paul, please.
First place I've been was in my mother's womb. That's my first experience. What was your first experience? If that had an indelible ability to imprint on me the character you see in front of me. In my mother's womb, Toastmasters, I was surrounded by sound. Now, I ask you to imagine for 1 minute what kind of a person you think I would be if my parents had been squabbling. If I had been, well, let us use a strong word, assaulted in the womb by vitriol, by nastiness, and by aggression, rather than the gentle, tolerant, attentive conversation that my father and mother had with each other. I think it was all through that pregnancy. And how do I know this? How am I so sure that I am where I've been, or perhaps I am where I first was? It's because I've received some feedback over the years. You know how lovely it is to go into a room, chat with people, and then have them afterwards tell other people that it was nice to talk to you. Can you believe it? That has happened to me. Not every day, but it has had an effect on me. So perhaps I'm deluded, but the person I am, I believe, is to a huge extent a reflection of the harmony that existed as the first child of 6 in my family. Thank you all very much.
Thank you for sharing with us your story about your life, and also telling us that the person you are today, we are honored to be with you because the person what you are today, because of the happy childhood. So I hope you all enjoy the session, table topic session, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Nush, for such a coruscating questions that you gave us today. It gives me my great honor to introduce you back to our president, Annie Bai. Her goal for this year is to lead our One Country, One World Toastmasters Club for a successful year and continue developing our rules and procedures to ensure that we keep creating the uniqueness of clubs that we offer to members. Please welcome our president, Annie Bai.
Thank you so much, Tim. And fellow One World Toastmaster friends, and guess what? We are honored to have the past Toastmaster International President, Jim Kakaki, sitting in the audience. Woohoo! He's a very special friend of us. Exactly 1 year ago, September the 13th, 2020, he was here. He was the installation officer on our charter party. Do you still remember, fellow friends? Welcome back, Jim. Let me give him a proper introduction here. He has a lot of things on his bio. Jim Kakaki, DTM, is a business consultant residing in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. As a volunteer, he serves as the president and board chair of La Hache St. John, which is part of a worldwide organization which creates home, work, and day programs together with people who have intellectual disabilities. As a speaker, he delivers presentations for groups on public speaking, leadership, managing conflict, business modeling, and sales and marketing. As Toastmaster since 1987, Jim's home club is St. John Toastmaster in St. John. He served as international president for Toastmaster International in the year 2015 to 2016. He continues in Toastmaster for many reasons, including his enjoyment of continued learning and development, and the opportunity to see others develop, and his strong belief that communication and leadership skills require learning, but more importantly, practice and more practice. Let's put our hands together to welcome Jim Kakaki. Serve your word, soothe your soul. Serve your word, soothe your soul, Jim Kakaki.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back with you almost a year to the date when I visited you last. I'm here in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia in Canada, on the east coast of Canada, beautiful island where I grew up visiting some family. And it's my pleasure to be connected with you today. Well, Annie asked me to come speak to you about the path to becoming international president in my experience, and I'm happy to do that. But I also want to talk about a broader message, and whether it's serving as international president, becoming an accredited speaker, figuring out how you want to spend your life, your career, the next 6 months or 6 years. For me, this is all about serving your world and soothe your soul. So I'm delighted to see First Vice President Morag as a member of the club, I recall, and to have Morag in the room. And, you know, if you're going to pursue becoming international president, you've got a massive belief in the power of Toastmasters to change the world. And you're willing to spend considerable time and energy in becoming elected and then serving Toastmasters. And once you're off the board of directors, continuing to serve. So my theme is around, serving your world, soothe your soul. When you're serving your world and doing what feels instinctively right, you're going to feel fantastic. Everything is in alignment. So do align your actions with your purpose. And some people have got their purpose figured out, or they've got their actions aligned. But listen to what you're saying to yourself. If you're confused by that, if you're not sure what path to pursue, sometimes your purpose will be absolutely clear, but sometimes your actions will drive your purpose. So listen to yourself when you're saying things like, somebody should be doing something about homelessness or hunger in my community or poverty. or somebody should be doing something about cleaning up the litter in my community. Could be big, could be small, but you've got a voice inside your head that, you know, we tend to tune out, but that voice in your head is driving you towards the actions that will satisfy your purpose or your ultimate purpose. And that might be a short-term purpose and short-term actions, or maybe long-term, but listen and pay attention. And I'll give you some advice towards the end here about how you can make some progress on that. So listen, make some notes, keep a diary, put them in your phone, but please pay attention to those little voices that are talking to you when you hear somebody should do something about. You can take some small actions today or tomorrow. So as mentioned, I did serve as International President 2015-2016. As International President, there's 3 key roles. One is to chair the board of directors, and these are photos from Washington, D.C., where I chaired the annual business meeting in August of 2016. So that's one role, to manage the business of Toastmasters. We need to make sure we have enough revenue and manage expenses well enough to operate this organization that serves over 300,000 members in 149 countries. We need to manage the business part of Toastmasters. But the more exciting part, I will say, is connecting with members. So the second role is to serve as an ambassador to connect with members around the world, to make sure that Toastmasters is doing a great job for members in Sri Lanka, in Saudi Arabia, in Thailand, Canada, the US, Mexico, all over the world, to make sure that our clubs are developing a stellar learning and development environment. So chair the board of directors, connect with members around the world, and also connect with companies who bring in Toastmasters as part of their learning and development program for their employees. So lots of huge corporations around the world have got Toastmasters as one component of their learning and development, so people can be empowered, become more effective communicators and leaders. So a huge part of serving as International President is to personally connect with some of those organizations, and more importantly, to strategically plan how do we continue to get better and better at that. And we've got lots of opportunity to become stronger at connecting with the businesses who see value in our program, bring us in, and we need to make sure we're nurturing their employees and our members, whether in community clubs, specialty clubs, online clubs, or corporate clubs. I grabbed a few photos, always grab a few photos of connecting with members around the world. Actually, Deepak Menon, a past International President, hosted me when I visited India. Some photos here from India, some photos from China, from Taiwan. What's Annie laughing at? But my status in Taiwan or in China, obviously I'm a big deal when I go to China. Annie, you can see I've got lovely ladies accompany me when I'm attired for China. So great fun connecting with members all around the world. So as International President, just a quick review of the organizational structure. You are the most important person at Toastmasters. You are a member. You've paid a fee to a club, and that club is in existence to empower you to become a more effective communicator and leader. You're the most important member. The most important organization within our structure is the club. We want all our clubs to be distinguished, to be serving members well. But briefly, I'll explain. Clubs are organized into areas. Areas support our clubs. Areas are organized into divisions. Divisions support areas. Divisions are organized into districts. We've got 120 districts around the world, I believe it is now, maybe a little bit more. Districts are exist to build new clubs and ensure every club achieves excellence. So districts exist to support divisions, areas, clubs, and ultimately you, the member. Districts are organized into regions. Regions exist primarily to help us find talent for the board of directors. And finally, at the bottom level, you're at the top, International President's at the bottom. At the bottom level, the overall structure is Toastmasters International. So it's a very brief introduction to the structure of Toastmasters, and we'll have some time for some Q&A at the end if you've got questions about that. And your current team, your 2021 Executive Committee for Toastmasters, there are 14 directors and 5 members of the Executive Committee, 19 people in total. Your international president, I'm sure you are all aware, is Margaret Page, Distinguished Toastmaster from British Columbia, Canada. Your president-elect, Mr. Matt Kinsey from Southern Florida. Morag Matheson with us here today from Berlin, Germany, first vice president. Roddy Spear, the newly elected second vice president from the New York City metropolitan area. And Richard Peck, our immediate past president from Connecticut, USA. Now you've become Toastmasters. I'm talking a bit about becoming international president in that path. You are empowered now to be a more effective communicator and leader, and your journey hasn't stopped. We are all on the journey to become ever more effective as communicators and leaders. So you're empowered. What will you do? What do you want to do? What's your future hold for you? What path should you pursue? Well, I encourage people, as we heard today, I was delighted to catch some of Shamila's speech about desiring to become an accredited speaker. There's one of a piece of advice I like to offer folks is, look, tell people what you're working on, what you're thinking about, what you're dreaming about. When that voice in your head says somebody should do something about litter in my community, talk to people about, look, what can we do to address some of that issue? Because people get inspired by your energy, by your ideas. You are empowered as a leader. So don't tell everybody in the coffee shop what you're working on, but you might want to tell some of them. Don't tell all your coworkers what your true passion is, but you might want to tell some of them. Don't tell all your family members and consume the airwaves with your passion, but tell some of them. Some of them may be inspired. Leaders inspire others to take action. So I invite you to take action, but I inspire you to, I ask you to inspire other people to take even further action. It can be absolutely amazing. I'm sure most of you have experienced this when you've shared an idea and other people have gotten behind and said, I want to be part of that. I can help. And often that's through energy. Sometimes it's through money, but people will be inspired by your enthusiasm. So how do you speak to people? Well, you can chat with people in the coffee shop, but you are part of an amazing organization called Toastmasters International that gives you the incredible opportunity to tell people what your passion is, what your idea is, what you might want to pursue, what you're thinking about pursuing, and to get feedback. So you know what this program is. It's Pathways. Level 1's all about mastering fundamentals. So if your passion is about doing something about poverty in your community, give a speech, give the icebreaker, do a little research, get some numbers about poverty in your community, do that speech, get some feedback, do the speech again. Maybe you'll get to do that in a group outside of Toastmasters. That's great as well, but our program exists to help you hone your message, to sharpen your message. And I'm going to assume as well, people in the room, you've gotten feedback from in speeches where people have said, I didn't quite get that. This would be sharper if. My gosh, what a gift to be able to sharpen your message. And I don't know about you, but I've certainly got feedback that says, I missed that entirely. I didn't understand the point of your speech. That was quite early in my Toastmasters career, but that's a gift as well, isn't it? How can we sharpen our message? So as you pursue your passion, and I will use that example about reducing poverty, addressing some poverty, you learn your style, you keep on practicing those projects, revisit the material. And I know you wouldn't give the same speech every time, but the best speakers in the world have got some core messages. You have some core messages. Practice your core messages. They may serve you for 6 months, 6 years, or 60 years, those core messages. We all have a base of knowledge, a base of passion, which we want to express. For me, it's things like communication, it's leadership, it's helping people with intellectual disabilities through the organization where I serve as president board chair, L'Arche. Those are my passions. I love to talk about those things and energize people to support whatever way possible. The third level of Pathways, as you know, is increasing your knowledge, increasing your skill level. So keep on going, keep on working from your base of knowledge to exercise the skills and sharpen the skills. I've personally found at times giving a speech on my base of knowledge, but being forced to a project to incorporate something like a prop gave me a brilliant idea that I can continue to use. So these projects will sharpen your thinking about how you can land your messages. Level 4, keep on building your skills. Level 5, demonstrate your expertise. My point here is, like, if you've got a passion, if there's something you are pursuing, thinking about pursuing, just have the germ of the idea of pursuing and solving, please do a speech teacher club. Please do a Pathways project. The skills you will be forced to execute in Pathways will serve you very, very well. One of my favorite stories, I've got about 4 stories of people who told me they've been transformed by Pathways. I know many, many more have, but these 4 people volunteered to me. So one was a nurse I met in Taiwan, and she said to me, Jim, I love Toastmasters. She said, I've been a nurse, a head nurse for 20 years, and people have always thought I'm bossy and pushy. And she said, I did the Pathways project and understanding my communication style. She said, I've made some very small changes. People are responding to me differently. So I find that extremely powerful. She doesn't entirely understand what she's changed, but by doing the project, she's changed some behavior that's changed how people react to her. So please do the projects. So there's a space between your dreams and reality. Sometimes we don't listen to our dreams, but listen, make note, think about small steps you can have. Tell people what your dream is. You don't need to have it figured out. Most people do not have it entirely figured out. So if your dream is to become international president, district director, club president, accredited speaker, world champion of public speaking, if you want to take some small actions to address poverty in your community, hunger in your community, litter in your community, whatever the idea is, start talking to people. Start talking to your club. You're part of a structured program. You have access to a wonderful structured program that will help you refine and sharpen your message, and you can make an incredible difference in your world. With that, I thank you, Annie. I'm going to stop, and I know you've allocated some time for questions and answers. I think I'm obligated for the answers, but not the questions.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Jim. And first of all, and appreciate your time being here and sharing all those wonderful messages. So, fellow members and guests, this is a special time to ask questions. Anyone? Please raise your hand or just unmute. Okay,
looks like
Paul.
Fabi. Okay, Paul.
All right. Thank you so much. This is very inspiring, especially if you're thinking about going that route. My question is, going for the second vice president and getting to the international president position. Why not 1, 2, 3, and why the structure that we have now? Second vice president, first president, and elected to one.
Yeah, what was the first part of the question? Can you repeat the first part, Fabi?
At this moment, getting to second vice president, you have actually three steps to get to the international president. Why not 1, 2, 3?
It's a very interesting question, and I want to note that Paul wanted to get in there too. So let me answer Fabi's question. Well, I suppose, first of all, that's the structure that the board of directors has put in place. And I think there's some wisdom in it, because when you're immediately elected, you're not ready to be international president. You've still got learning to do. Everyone in this call has got learning to do. But serving as international president is a very serious obligation. So you need to learn things that aren't obvious to the members, but how is the budget prepared? What are the prior priorities that have been set for the organization? Truly, how are we doing all around the world? How are our clubs performing in the various markets that we serve? Markets is a business term, but it fits for what we do for the 149 countries. So there's a lot of learning to take place. So from time to time, we do chat amongst past senior leaders to say, maybe 5 is too many, maybe 4 is enough. It's not our decision. That's a decision of the board of directors. But I will simply say that you need to do some learning before you're ready to serve as international president. Thank you, Fabi. I'm going to invite Paul in too, because I know Paul had his hand up physically.
Yes, thank you very much, Jim. I think we all know that you don't become international president without many years of service, proven service throughout the organization and building a reputation for service. I was particularly struck by your ability to say something terribly meaningful in a way that every person in the room would have no difficulty understanding. In other words, your ability to communicate in a, well, I'll call it with great respect, a simple manner, in a style that's simple. What I'm wondering is, to what extent do you think your ability to communicate with groups has contributed alongside your ability and willingness to serve? I have met many people who have been great in the service of others, but that doesn't mean that they are a great, we'll say, public speaker. So I'm interested to know a little bit about your own judgment about the mixture of communication between those two, the mixture between service and communication skills, please.
Fascinating. Boy, you guys ask great questions, tough table topics. I think it's really important. And some people who aren't great public speakers are great private speakers. They're great one-on-one. And I bet as I say that, you're thinking of people who you're thinking, hey, I wouldn't want to see them do a speech, or I've seen them do a speech and I don't want to see that again. But one-on-one, they're exceptionally powerful. They connect and you feel the energy and the passion. So I think communication is absolutely key. And additionally, you make me think that part of communication is our actions. So some people are simply inspired by what they do. Some people are inspired by people just observing and seeing the activity. So absolutely, communication skills are critical. And I think it relates as well. You know, you've gone to some club meetings, perhaps when we're face to face, and I've been to some club meetings where a guest comes in and doesn't get acknowledged, and that kills me. That drives me crazy. But I've also been to a lot of meetings, most meetings, where guests are just honored and respected and courted. So that is by actions, people are communicating their value to us. So to your question, I think communication skills are absolutely critical. Of course, that's critical to this organization. Some are public, some are private, and some are simply by actions, in my view. Thanks, Paul.
I think we have Dara. Dara?
Hi there. Thanks so much for your presentation. The question I want to ask has to do with helping people to find their passions. Now, at the beginning, you started with this, so I'm going to ask you, as someone who's straddled both the business side of Toastmasters and the interacting with people around the world in such deep spaces, how do you see Pathways moving to have people or members bend reality to their wishes, creating along the lines that they want their world to show up as? Please.
Sure, thank you, Darius. So I think at least in two ways. My opinion is sometimes we need to speak to truly understand that passion. We need to articulate that, because that forces us to think more deeply and explain it. There's effort required to explain something to people. So Pathways, I think, absolutely helps us clarify our mission, our purpose, the actions we want to take in this world. But additionally, it just energizes other people. Right? We just had a big fundraising event for my large group on Tuesday night, 440 people. In this time of COVID, socially distanced, lots of masks being worn, but it was exceptional for us to share various messages about what we do and to see people get energized. So that wasn't a Pathways project, but everything I've done in Toastmasters, every Pathways project, every evaluation I've received has helped shape me. So it helped me land a message on Tuesday night with 440 prominent people from the business community to help support our organization. Not all of them will, but many will. So pathways, Toastmasters, practicing those speeches is really important for your development. And I think I've seen too many members, and maybe you've experienced this as well, but people say, what should I talk about? What can I talk about? And sometimes they go off and do some obscure research, but please talk about your passion, talk about your ideas, whether they're fully formulated or not fully formulated, share them, get some perspective. And it's just so rewarding if someone says, I love what your idea is. I'd like to help. How can I help? Thank you, Dara.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have one more question from Madhav.
Yes. Hi, Jim. It's a real pleasure to be able to interact with you. I would like to also react to one of your opening lines where you mentioned that to serve in a leadership role in Toastmasters and to reach the higher levels of the hierarchy is to have a strong belief in what the organization achieves in its mission. And that's something which speaks a lot to me, because I myself have jumped from the club level leadership as a past president of a club directly to division director, so that like a district leadership role, because my country, Mauritius, has recently, as of the 1st of July, been districted to D74. So I'm finding myself my thought process right now is, okay, it's one thing to serve as district director and to fulfill whatever role whatever mission I have to serve, and then to reach out to the international, to aim for, let's say, to be inspired by being international president. So my question is, in that journey, you come from the simple level of having members do speeches, paying their dues, and so on, and then there's some sort of complex navigation you have to do, and then reach for whatever progress you want to make in the leadership role. So my question is, how do you process all that along the way, and what keeps you going? There you go. Over to you.
Sure. Yeah, that's another terrific question. Thank you. So for me, the exercise I always go through is, does the organization need me? Can I make a contribution? And will I benefit? There's some selfishness. Selfishness is not a bad thing. In Toastmasters, you do not benefit financially, but you benefit. None of the positions are paid. I want to be absolutely clear on that. You benefit by the learning and networking and the connections you've got with people. So I guess the simplest way I can answer that is, for me, I'm always making that assessment. Does the organization need some of what I've got and can offer? And will I benefit in some way? Will I grow and develop? And I'll use my example from the work I do with LARSH, the folks with intellectual disabilities. Some years ago, a former Toastmaster who was chair of the board said, we need some help in marketing and public relations. Will you join? I said, this wouldn't be fun. I said to myself, this wouldn't be fun, but it's the right thing to do. So yes, I'll assist. And I'll tell you, it's one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, as well as being international president. So that was the process then and the process now. And I will tell you, I'm starting now to plan to leave that board entirely, because I've got the organization in a great place. So the organization doesn't need me, and I think needs me to step away so they can take the next step, whatever that is. So simple answer, I always use that assessment. Does the organization need me? Will I benefit? And I'll further mention that, to be elected international president or second vice president is a big deal. Not everybody's going to make it, obviously. So learn from the process, learn from the elections, learn from the interactions you have with people. And what I'm impressed with is even those who don't get elected continue to serve Toastmasters and serve the world.
Well said. Thank you so much, Jim. I have to say, he's an international president, but he's so humble and down to the earth. And he replied to my message and accepted my invitation to come back to this club. I representing all the members here, really appreciate your time and your generosity here. I really hope that you consider our club as a friend of you, and you could come back sometime in the future time and be our mentor, be our special guest and member here. And we really love to hear from you. I do know that you're international president, but today I learned that you once a Chinese emperor as well. No.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Jim. Everyone give Jim a big round of applause. And with that, I'll give the stage back to our Toastmaster of the Day, Tim.
Thank you very much, Annie. What's in the waters in Canada? We've had Pat Johnson, Jim Kokoki, and now Margaret Page. What a wonderful service the country of Canada is providing in leadership of international presidents. Maybe Annie, by a few years, you could be international president. We may move on to a really important stage of Toastmasters is to get feedback. We don't learn and grow without that feedback. So it's really important to take on the feedback from our evaluators. I'd like to hand the stage over to our general evaluator, Wendy Harara. Welcome, Wendy.
Thank you, Tim. This is the evaluation portion of our meeting. First, we will hear from our speech evaluators. They will give evaluation to our prepared speeches. Our second evaluator is Rosemary Sweeney. Rosemary will be evaluating Shamila Williams. Please help me welcome Rosemary Sweeney with a big round of applause.
Okay. Greetings, everyone. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, I felt honored to listen and evaluate Toastmaster Shamila's presentation as she delivered a cascading speech on the insights on the accredited speaker program. The purpose of the project was for her to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. Toastmaster Shamila, I must commend you on meeting your objective on delivering a longer speech and to keep the audience engaged. I am so proud that you embraced your shortcomings and recognized that the judge who gave you the least points was the one who could propel your growth, and you were willing to work on what was pointed out to me. This showed me that you are a humble individual and you are focused on your self-development. I also loved your vocal variety. Your pitch and tone were engaging and kept me wanting to hear more. I could feel the excitement in your voice when you called on me to stand when expressing myself. You gave appropriate hand gestures. And what I loved also was the ABC of becoming an accredited speaker. And you were straightforward to show the seriousness of the program. We are asked to pay $100. What I would have loved to see and hear, however, was a short video clip of a speaker who originally failed and then went on to be successful. I felt that your presentation was great, and I was puzzled when you said, hopefully this is what I am trying to do. Instead, you could have said, this is what I am doing. Overall, I loved your cross-cutting presentation. And Toastmaster Shamila, you showed me that you're vulnerable and you were not afraid to show it. Your slides were clear and engaging. Your vocal variety, your hand gestures, your call to action made me know that I can count on you whenever I am going to take that next step to be an accredited speaker. You were engaging, you engaged the audience, you gave us food for thought and showed me that I should not be afraid to fail. Whether I fail, there are people who are going to help me, pick me up and run with me. Your slides, they were on point. I could just see everything and I felt your commitment not only to me, but to the members of One Country, One World, and also to our visitors here. So Toastmaster Shamila, I said yes, because your call to action, there was several call to action. Put the information in the chat. take my phone number, get hooked up to that accredited speaker. Toastmaster Shamila, well done, a very engaging and a very informative speech. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Rosemary. We cannot be more inspired about the accredited speaker program. It was just like the perfect match for this program and this invitation. We are now done with the evaluation round, and we should move on the reports of the tag team, timer, counter, and grammarian. To start off, let's call on the time.
Wendy, excuse me, could we do table topics evaluations?
Sure, John, you're right. We are going to start actually with John. She's our first table topic evaluator, and she will be evaluating the odd numbers. John, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. I just hate to waste good notes. I believe that Maggie would agree that all of the speakers coruscated. Tim Wilson, I hope I got that right, that they sparkled and shone. Thank you very much with the table topics provided by Noosh today. I had the privilege of evaluating speakers number 1, 3, and 5, and Maggie will take over the even numbers. I'm going to give what I saw, what I heard, what I liked, and then some offerings to either take or not for where I think you could have developed along the way. Our first speaker was Madav, and the one word that comes to me in listening to Madav is smooth. Smooth is a song by one of my favorite singers, Santana. He's got a very commanding presence that draws you in. Madav was asked to speak on this quote: "You focus on the goal, but is there joy in the journey?" And after a few words, he got into the story about his children. And I feel like I know his children well, as I was on a executive meeting call for One Country, One World, and we could hear his kids in the background. Very energetic, and I'm sure they command a lot of attention with their presence as well. But he talked about needing to stop action in the goals of schooling and being able to focus on them just being kids. And that led into the journey of his daughter asking him, "Hey, Dad, would you take off the training wheels on my bike? Set me free." I thought that was a fantastic short story that guided him through to the joy in the journey of watching his kids grow, not only accomplish their schooling goals, but in watching them be who they are in the comfort and the delight of his family. You can see that joy in Madav's face. As far as what I might recommend, I might start with that story. And then I think that you could share a little bit of your heart, you and your wife, just what that moment meant to your kids and what that moment meant to you. And I think you can expand on that bike dialogue as well, Madav, in just saying the movement, the segue, and then the journey connected them and you with that goal. Our second speaker, actually our third speaker, was our guest, Asiri, and the word that came to mind for him was very engaging. So his quote was, "Well, what would you say to your younger self?" And immediately he jumped right in. He has a strong voice, a beautiful smile. And he said, "You know, animals have basic needs, but others, we have life purpose. Stop to reevaluate our goals. Go for the emotional intelligence." And then, like a true wonderful listener, he tapped back into a previous speaker, Stavriana, talking about meditation. And then he tied that back into the Toastmaster journey. As far as specifics, I might say, tell us how that impacted you. What would you specifically say to your younger self? And as you are a guest to One Country, One World, give us a peek into what that story might be. The last speaker that I evaluated was Wendy Zhang, and the word that came to mind for me was her confidence. The one journey is the one within, and that's what she was asked to speak about. She said, you know, journey, and she used that word as an anchor so very well. We have a journey with our career, with our children, with our partner. In Toastmasters, there are so many journeys. She gave advice to follow your heart and try your best. What I might recommend to you, as I love you using that journey to illustrate, is a little bit of an anchor. What was that like for you? what did you have? Did you have career options? Did you have partner options? Did you want 1 child or 5? Give us a little peek into you. And then also just a little bit more vocal variety. I would have liked to have heard that, but great job by all 3. And now I want to turn it over to Maggie for the other evaluations. Thank you.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters. It's great to be back. I haven't been here in a while, and it's nice to see everyone and hear all the lovely accents throughout the world. First, I'd like to compliment Nush on the great table topic quotes. They were very engaging. The first person I evaluated was Starviana, and her quote was, "All the Places You Will Go" by Dr. Seuss. One of my favorite quotes. I love reading that book to my children. Starviana is always very expressive, has great gestures. She talked immediately how she didn't have enough time, and could you just not feel that come through the internet throughout the world. She talked about how she would love to visit the entire world, and one of the things that I thought she did great was give us a technique instead of meditation, visualization, and how that helped her and how it can help us by filling our mind, by putting positive thoughts in there and using images, and how it could give us strength and empower us during this time of COVID. One thing that I would love to see Starviana do is give a very specific example of a visualization that she has used that has helped her. She gave us a general overview, but I think a very specific one, how to get through a particular tough day at work or a particular challenge in a relationship or so on. So great job. Love your energy and always very positive and engaging. The second person I was evaluating was Daria, and hers was a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Another great quote. She talked about how she traveled through Switzerland, not just traveled, but how she got down and personal and did it by traveling, by hiking, instead of taking a mode of a train or a bus or car. She got out there and gave some, how she hiked and the experiences of meeting different people and the different sites. An opportunity here would be to give a particular example of one person in particular that she remembered and the impact that made on her, or a description of a particular site, a scenery that stuck in her mind through her journey. The third person I evaluated was Paul, and his was so much of who we are is where we have been. Paul, as usual, gave a very different twist on things. Most of us would have talked about places we visited. Paul started off with his mother's womb and how it impacted his character from the start, and how being surrounded by the sounds and the pleasant environment helped him. Instead of hearing his parents squabbling or being assaulted in the womb, he heard harmony. Paul always uses great vocal variety. Loved the fact that he did a different twist. The thing that I would like to hear is not a little bit more about how he was the first of 6 children, but how it has impacts him still today. He talked a little bit in general about how he heard other people say it impacted him, but how did it impact his character today? Overall, love the table topics, and it's great to see everyone. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator. Or yes, you General Evaluator.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, John. After learning from these great development listening skills that our table topic evaluators have, we can just learn about her techniques. And now we are done with the evaluation round. They were the cherry of the cake, and we will move to the tag team. To start off, let's call on the timer of the day, Sonia Monrose. Sonia, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Our meeting started with the pre-meeting segment, where Paul did a segment on a session on your inner self and how we could write our poetry from that level. Meeting was taken over at 8 a.m. by the president, Annie Bai. We had our inspirational master, then we had our tourist of the day, and that was Selena. We spent 5 minutes and 22 seconds with that presentation. The niche of the day by Mark Cano, 5 minutes and 28 seconds. Our speakers, Toastmaster Paul, his speech lasted 7 minutes and 30 seconds. And the presentation by Toastmaster Shamila lasted 17 minutes and 42 seconds. The table topic segment, the table topic speakers, Maraf, 1 minute, 51 seconds. Straviano, 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Visiting Toastmaster as Erie, 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Visiting Toastmaster Daria, 2 minutes, 41 seconds. Wendy Zhang, 1 minute, 37 seconds. And Toastmaster Paul, 2 minutes, 18 seconds. The guest speaker, International President segment, his presentation was 13 minutes and 56 seconds, and we spent an additional 11 minutes and 53 seconds with the question and answer segment. In total, we spent 25 minutes and 9 seconds. Now the evaluation component, our evaluators, Toastmaster Jean to Paul, 3 minutes and 42 seconds. Toastmaster Rosemary to Shamila, 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Joan to, Joan with the table topic segment, 4 minutes and 18 seconds. And Maggie with the evaluation of the table topic segment as well, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's where we're at. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Sonia. Thanks for helping us to keep track of our session. I'm going now to present a general report of our session. We have a premiere in so creative, dynamic, and for me, that's the goal of this session. We also have a meeting that was really good conducted. Our Toastmaster of the day did everything to be on time. We started on time. Our sergeant announcement was 2 minutes before the session, just opening. We just struggled a little bit, maybe just giving time to the question and answer section. And now we are like 10 minutes over the regular time or the agenda time. So it's something to maybe prepare or just plan a little bit, give a little bit of flexibility, few minutes in those sessions. Our president opening was just precise. We know what have happened this week that we didn't see, what the good news and the greeting for our guests. Our table topic master just shared with us deep quotes. Everybody was so inspired, and she was using like new resource as Mark suggested, and I also applied. I didn't think about pressing the evaluation portion, but thanks, Mark, for that. Regarding our Toastmaster of the day, he kept on time. He tried to do everything to be now closing the session. It was smooth, the transitions, and I believe the connections and the way to share the theme of the day was precise because was sharing the goals of each of our members, and it was a way to know about us and also encourage between us, like what is happening, what is his goal, what is my goal. So it is like a new resource and new tool for our club. Regarding our speech evaluators, there was notes of encouragement, were so precise, so comprehensive. There was the sandwich technique inside, and I really highlight that the recommendations and the things to improve were thoughtful, and for me is so important. It's not about being no specific, it's more about opening the heart of our audience and the person that is talking and learning, because he should receive the feedback. So that's why it's really important, that full skill. And I believe just to highlight, thanks to our audience, our table topic speakers, then to our guest speaker for bringing us that juicy information. All the speeches were connected, like everything was about how to grow as accredited speakers, as leaders, and pathways, and even the tips that were shared. Everything was about growth and about preparing. I am just missing Selena. Selena, thanks for sharing with us that tip. I was in LA and that was really useful. I have family there and I will check about Lake Tahoe. Thanks to my marvelous team, I give the control back to our Toastmaster.
And I'm gonna have to take it back because I got to get a grammarian report in here somewhere. I think it's not counter too, right?
Yes, Tim. Sorry for missing that. We just can't go back. That's why I want to receive grammarian report also. So like, Tim, the stage is yours.
All right. Grammarian report. I knew I'd missed something in there somewhere. All right. And we got an all-counter report, or I just must have missed that too. And I'm just unconscious these days. All right, grammarian report. So word of the day, Tim Blackburn gave it in speaking. Wendy Herrera gave it in speaking. Shamila Williams gave it in speaking. Rosemary Sweeney gave it in speaking. Joan Bowling gave it in speaking. And to keep me on my toes, Mark Hano gave it in chat, and Asari gave it in chat. So full shout out to you. As I mentioned, my challenge is you have better English grammar than most native US speakers. So there wasn't really much for me to do. A lot of the times I just kind of take a look at your wording that I like. For instance, Morg Mathieson said, what could I do? Light the spark. I really kind of like those phrases. See Holiday, Selena Chong and See Holiday, Mark Hano, give it a go. And Wendy Herrera, of course, said twice, tag team, which is very nice. Jamila Williams with show and sell. Thought that was creative. Madhav with reflection on enjoying the journey. A series and two things that I found interesting was our mind is something we can't control and become a better version of you. Now, Jim, as international president, can't possibly make any mistakes in grammar. So he's perfect, absolutely perfect, cannot possibly be improved. If you someday become international president, you too can have perfect grammar. So congratulations, Jim. And now just a few thoughts about improvements in flawed wording. Tim Blackburn, I think you mentioned something about her goals for this year is. It could have been, I heard it wrong. It should be her goals for this year are a place that, for Selena Chong, a place that has a train, not a place that has train. And on your slide, I noticed you had a warmth and cozy. It should be a warm, W-A-R-M, and cozy on the slide. Star Rihanna, you talked about listening, everything people were saying or something like that. You should be listening to everything people were saying. Wendy Zhang had a few for you here. We have a lot of options instead of option to choose from, many, many choices instead of many, many choice. To join Toastmasters, plural, instead of to join Toastmaster, instead of back to Table Topics Masters, it's back to you, Table Topics Master. Annie, instead of down to the earth, the expression is down to earth. And Jean Gamester, you said something instead of someone else does beautifully, of someone else doing it beautifully. Rosemary Sweeney, you mentioned twice hand gestures. The phrase is hand gestures. That's kind of a J sound to it. And Maggie, finally, you talked about a mode of train or something like that. It should be a mode of travel. And overall, love the table topics should be, as you probably already know, using a shortened form, but overall, I love the table topics. That is the grammarian report. Back to somebody.
Thank you, Tim. So after our timer report, grammarian report, we are just missing our counter, Nadia Agape. Nadia, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Madam G. I tried to be short. I heard 5 from Maggie, Daria, Sonia, and our Toastmaster of the day. But I would like to thank our Sergeant at Arms, Madam. Thank you to be there, because with you, I have to listen. How you could improve, because you said a few times, repeat and something. Perhaps try to think a few more seconds before speaking. but thank you for that to be there. So I have a little work. Back to you, Madam G.
Thank you, Nadia. Thank you, Dean and Sonia, our tag team. They were clear and audible. There was a clear why the importance of the good grammar and what were the sentences, words that were really clever and savvy used. And they tried to provide at least one compliment and recommendation. So it was really comprehensive. That applies for all our evaluators. Sorry for missing that. Maybe it's the first time that using Prezi as a general evaluator was quite challenging, but we are learning and for sure we can improve. I give the control back to our Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Wendy, for a thorough job and congratulations on taking the role of general evaluation. So thank you everyone for your attendance. I know we're running a little bit late, so my closing comments will be short and brief, but I love everyone's goals. We're really achieving lots this year. We learn by growing, by trying new things. I'm definitely going to be trying out Mark Carno's Prezi to see how that's going to help me with my presentation. So what a fabulous presentation. Thank you, Ma. I'd like to now hand the floor to our president to close the meeting. Welcome, Annie Bai.
Thank you. Fabulous job, team. And thank you so much to step up to be the Toastmaster today. I apologize that we are running over time. It's something we're going to work on. But think about it. We haven't met for 3 weeks. That would be a great excuse, right? But do you agree this is a high quality meeting? Give me a thumb up there. We just have so many things covered. I just put in the chat a little survey and then you could go there and give me your answer. Give me your answer. And in the meantime, I'd like to ask our guest, Daria, do you want to give some quick comment?
Yes, absolutely. I just posted in the chat, really, not wanting to take more time, but truly, this has spanned all types of growing spaces for us. And I thank you for that. And I don't want you to take 3 weeks to come again.
Well, we'll be here and we would like to invite you to be our member. If you could consider that, that would be wonderful to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, Fabiola, do you have anything quick to say?
Yes, I enjoyed the meeting. Very valuable information throughout the speakers, the going to travel to the country and everything. So I enjoyed it very much. I had a little bit of distraction on my side. Like I wanted to participate in the table topics, but I was called away and I said, oh, I missed that part. But other than that, I enjoyed the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have Wendy Zhang, but she has agreed to join us as our member. Let's give her a big round of applause, Wendy. Want to say a few quick words?
Yeah. Oh, yes, thank you. Yeah, this is my second time to join the meeting, but I really enjoy the whole meetings. And yeah, so I would like to join the team. It's really wonderful from all over the country, all over the world. Yeah, from different countries. Yeah, nice to meet you all. Yeah, thank you.
Great, welcome, Wendy. And Esther? Esther, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, I totally enjoyed the meeting. Well, it was my maths. This thing actually, I was saying that she missed maths today, but I was at maths. We were at maths. I had like 7 sermons and everything. So I was really, there was a full lot of knowledge right there that I get from. I see some friends that I haven't seen for a long time. Paul, yeah, and that's where my people are also. I can see that in the Sunday morning. That's good. And I definitely see that I have to go Prezi. That's exactly what I wanted. Prezi. That's the thing. Okay, thank you very much for the for the presentation of this, and I shall be back. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. And we have another guest, Asiri, and I think he has left, but Nush, please contact him. I think he's greatly interested to join us as well. And while we are welcoming all our guests to come back, I'd like to let all our members know it is the time we need your help to keep this club going, because this is the membership renewal time. And we are actually a little closer to the deadline. The deadline will be September the 30th. The reason we delayed a little bit because we were working on a website to make it more general to all the members to submit. However, that hit a technical difficulty that we have to use it at a later time. So at this point, we're going to use the previous way to do the renewal. So two options. You could send your financial information, whatever you want to use for the renewal, to Nush. I can assure you she's going to keep that secured and she's going to discard that right after. But the easiest way is to send that information to Nush in a private email, and she will manage to get that done for you. Or if you don't like that, then book a time with Nush, Sonia, or myself to get onto the Zoom, and we will work through the process, and on the screen we will help you to renew that, and then now the help to get that done. So if you want to stay after this to get this done with Nush, and that's perfect, just stay there. But we do need this fairly quickly to get all the renewal as early as possible. This is the time I need your help, fellow members. Please do your part and get this one done. Keep our OCAL member alive. And there are more exciting things coming up. Next meeting on the 26th will be our speechathon. So Paul is doing the organizing work. So if you want to get a slot, I know it's probably running out at this point of time, but go talk to Paul and get a slot or get a role there. And in the first October meeting, we will have our new international president come to be our guest. So Margaret Page will be here, and we will have more exciting events coming up in the following weeks. So don't miss that and be our members. Renew your fees today or anytime soon. And talk to Nush, and she would be able to help you. And Sonia and myself will be assisting that as well. Okay, any question for renewal, please stay and talk to me. And other than that, I would like to wish everyone another wonderful week and 2 weeks until we meet again on September the 26th. Thank you so much and have a great day.